this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. So the discussion about ancient Egypt and this Netflix docudrama that Jada Pinkett Smith is producing, portraying Queen Cleopatra of ancient Egypt as black, is heating up. And this man here on the left with Piers Morgan, whose name is Bassem Youssef, who is an Egyptian comedian, is accusing Hollywood of erasing his people. He says Hollywood has been erasing my people. He is calling the ancient Egyptians his people, which they are not. And this is my response. My Twitter handle is Nefertiti. I join social media platforms at different times, so I have different names. I'm going to have to consolidate these names at some point. But I said, sorry, you people arrived in Egypt, Kemet, in the 600s AD. You have no connection to ancient Egypt. I mean Kemet, LOL. So this Murad Ahmed tweeted to me, we have more claim to the land we live in than African Americans living in the USA, that's for sure. And I said, no, you really don't. African Americans are African descended. You're not. You're invaders who are peddling lies about your heritage. And he wrote back, well, my descendants and I will keep living in Egypt as Egyptians, while African Americans will stay in America. You can keep making up fantasies about the past to satiate your ego, but the reality is we're Egyptians by nationality, and you are not. And he's right about that. They are Egyptians by nationality, but not by ancient lineage. Now his tweet is very revealing. He's saying that they're Egyptians by nationality, but he's acknowledging that he's not Egyptian by ancient lineage. And that is what black Americans are telling them. You're over there occupying the land, but you're not the original people of that land. And my response to him was, stop playing. You came to Egypt in 640 AD. You invaded that country and claimed their legacy. I don't care how long you stay there, you're invaders. It's not even your ego, it's denial. You people are in denial about what you've done. So another person named Mahmoud Beer got in the conversation, and his sentence structure is not quite right. But he says, if the black African was the original ancient Egyptian, who's who sitting down? It's the best wall drawings made by the ancient Egyptians to show all the world the difference between the Egyptian and black African. Even the Egyptian was modern more than them, 1,000,000%. And this is the picture that he sent. And we've seen this many times before. Now, the Hebrew Israelites say that these were the Hebrew Israelites enslaved in ancient Egypt. But what I wrote back to him was, they're all black, just different ethnicities. So he sent this picture and said, I'm not sure to agree with you. Check these pics, maybe you will find the difference. So he's got two side-by-side pictures trying to make it seem like the people who are torturing the people on the floor are the same people. And that, to me, is not obvious. These two pictures, or these two paintings, most likely were done at different times. But this is what he's saying, trying to convince me that these white people on the left who are torturing the black man on the floor are of the same race as these people on the right, on these women on the right that are torturing these women that are on the floor. So I tweeted back to him. I was responding to the picture on the left with those white people, and I said, this is what invaders do. I'm not surprised. The indigenous people on the floor lost their battle with barbarians. They're still there, but you keep them hidden. Free the Kemetics. And then I added, also, look how proudly the women who are being tortured are holding their heads. They know who they are despite the treatment. I have seen this picture many times, and I'm sure you have too. But I had never paid attention to the women on the floor. You're always looking at the women that are standing over them. Those women look like they might be some admixture of African and European. Because at a point, the Ptolemies, who were Greek Macedonians, white folks, did come in and invade ancient Kemet and change the name to Egypt. So they did come in and invade the country. They did mix in with those African people. They try to say that they only mixed in with each other, but some people say they inbred with each other. But they mixed in with the African people. Everybody knows that they do that all the time. But it was the people on the floor that I had never focused on before. But after this man comes sending me this picture trying to show me that these women standing over them are white, and the black people on the floor are possibly slaves, is what they're trying to say. These women are not slaves. These women know who they are. If they were slaves, they'd be out in the field working, out there building pyramids or doing some kind of work. But these women look like they might be from some noble class, because look how they're holding their heads so high. Their shoulders are back. They're sitting straight. They're sitting as proud people, dignified people. So I think that is my takeaway. This is the first time that I got that takeaway from this picture. But that's what this is. And that's the message. These people were either captured or they were taken against their will because invaders had come. And when invaders come, they can make slaves out of you. They do make slaves out of you. But these are the indigenous people, either that or they're the Hebrew Israelites. And those people looked alike. After I told him that, after I wrote back and said, and look how proud they sit. They know who they are. Despite the treatment, I didn't get a response back from him. But this is an ongoing story, but I just want to make this point that these people tried to erase the ancient Egyptian histories and separate the ancient Egyptians from their history and their culture and their accomplishments, and tried to take Egypt out of Africa by creating some phony area called the Middle East. But Egypt is still in Africa. And black people, the descendants of the original people of Kemet, are still there. They're just hidden in the mountains and the hills, and they're not in the main cities, but they're still there. And the last thing I'm going to say is we were erased. And by that I mean they erased our history, our culture, our tribes and family identities were erased. They separated us from who we were. Now the question is, why? Why was it important for them to do that? Because as far as I'm concerned, if it was important enough for them to do that, to erase us from our homeland, our culture, our language, our tribe, if it was important enough for them to do that, my feeling is it's important enough for us to ask why. We have never explored that before, but there was a reason why they did that. Because if we had just been nobody Africans, they would have let us keep our names and our culture and our tribe. That wouldn't have been a big problem. Everybody who has come to the United States, except black people, have been able to keep their name, their country, their family or clan affiliations. They haven't taken anything away from those people, and they didn't care. They don't care. The Chinese and the Indians, they'll just change their names to sound more American. But nobody forces them to do that. But we were forced away from our culture and everything that meant something to us. And so still the question is why. And so when the question is asked, why do African Americans take ancient Egypt so seriously? And the answer for me is, if they could do it to black Americans, they could do it to the Egyptians. And that is why I think black Americans are so invested in it. And it really, really annoys the Egyptians who are over there now. And they'll try to say humiliating things just like white people, trying to say things to embarrass you, calling you names. But I'm past being concerned about a white person calling me a name. I don't care. The question still remains, why was it important for them to separate us from our culture, from our name, from our language, from our tribe? I got that they needed somebody to come over here and do the work. But why was it important for them to take our culture away? That is what I want to know. Now, yes, we recreated ourselves and we built a bigger and better culture, maybe. We have a culture like none other in the world, and it is fabulous. Still, our original culture was taken from us. We didn't do it by choice. And why? Why was it important to take our culture away from us? That's the question. Okay, y'all. Thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Share the video. And as always, have a great day.